Welcome, Angry Fishmen, to Geek Salad's review of Netflix's One Piece from the Geek Salad podcast. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
And we are here to finally wrap up our look at the Netflix series of the live-action One Piece with episodes 7, The Girl with the Sawfish Tattoo, and 8, Worst in the East.
Yep.
So... kind of been a roller coaster for me on this entire thing.
Yeah. Knowing you the way I do, I suspect you liked episode 7 more than you liked episode 8.
I did until I didn't.
Oh.
And a lot of it, honestly, we have to address this now. Now that the series is over, I have to say I absolutely... I've said in the past how much issue I've taken with Luffy D. Monkey.
Yeah.
No more. You can't take him anymore. There is such a dramatic, unexplained swing in his character at the end of episode 7 that I'm like, what? When he gets all like, he puts on his mean face. And he's talking to Nami because, she betrayed them 1 episode ago. And he's all like, no, I'm going to help you. And I'm like, all right, I'm done with this character. They don't know how to write him properly.
I see. This is where we completely disagree because I thought that was a fantastic switch.
It would have been better if he had shown any sign of that at all in the previous 6 episodes. And I never felt like he had always been like, I never took him seriously as the captain. And now I'm supposed to just start taking him seriously. I
think all along you got hints that there was just that seriousness underneath the surface. But especially in this episode when he's sitting on the roof with Zoro and he's like, she told you to leave. And he's like, yeah, so did you.
Yeah. Which you just can't take a hint.
He just has such unending just confidence in his crew, and
right.
It kind of like it just returns the favor. So they have confidence in him because he believes in them. Yeah,
I think another issue I have is just pretty much the overall storytelling of this is that they were betrayed and less than 1 episode later, all is forgiven.
So you're saying you would have preferred 2 more episodes kind of in between?
I would have preferred it to have been lengthened out a little bit if that was the case, or carry it into next season. I just feel like it was like the end game of this entire thing of this season was primarily get the crew together, get the poster out. That was the end game of this entire show, was just to get that done. And I felt like they could have done the poster without having to get Nami on that team then and just then and there. They could have let it go a little longer. Even if she, betrays the fish people and then kind of goes off on her own for a bit instead of just being like, oh, I'm part of the crew again. Yay.
Well, you see, here's where like they were kind of restricted by still following the anime storyline to a certain extent,
right?
Because the attack on Arlong Park is a fairly significant event in the anime and manga, from what I've heard.
Yeah. One thing I really noticed about this episode more than anything else, and I've talked about how it's throughout the show, as a non-anime fan, it's been very hard for me to get into it because there's these elements, there's these tropes. This episode illustrated to me how slavish the costumes are, because there was that one Marine, what's his name?
Oh, yeah.
One in the bunny outfit.
Mouse, actually.
Oh, it's a mouse out. Okay, you could have fooled me, but yeah.
He's literally a rat.
Right, okay. And it's just like, that there might look fucking amazing hand drawn. It looks dumb as hell and really out of place in this movie about fantasy pirates. This TV show about all these, like, about fish people. And it's like, this is the stupidest looking thing in the entire series.
Is it really all that out of place, though? We've had a lamb person.
Now, you know what part of it is? It's the costume itself. It's the fact that those ears don't look attached. They look like he bought that at Disney World. And, you know, okay, I can understand he wasn't exactly human because of the whiskers.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things, like, again, you picture this as anime, and it's like, okay, that kind of makes sense for the goofiness of this. But the second you see a human being dressed up like that, it really just...
See, now you make me curious. I want to see what he looks like actually in the anime/manga.
Yeah. And that is one thing that really it took me out, that it is so slavishly devoted to the overall look and aesthetic, which, you know, you get to that point where it just begs the question, was a live action truly needed if all they're going to do is just put real people in real costumes that look just like the cartoon costumes? But then again, you and I differ on, like, the Disney remakes as well, so that might be that might just be one of those things. I cannot see. I still cannot see that. Send it to me. Just send me the image.
All right. But this is a good one. All right. Sorry, this doesn't make for very good video.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
All right, just
I mean, there were. I mean, like when they had Sanji and Zoro having their fight with the fishmen, that was okay.
And I do love their relationship where they're both very much alpha males, and neither one can see the only thing kind of keeping them together is Luffy.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah.
Even in the anime, he looks just as goofy.
He looks goofy. He looks a little more badass in this though than he did in the live action.
I did love when Nami just clocked him in the back of the head. Yeah. And even Garp's like, whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, the stuff with Nami was really good. I like getting that insight into her. But
I think even more so than Sanji, Nami has got one of the most brutally just heartbreaking backstories.
Yeah. Because for her, I think she feels responsible for that.
Yeah.
And that's huge. And again, that could have rolled into a longer overall narrative that could have gone into the second season.
I think one extra episode could have benefited this final arc, because I like how it wrapped up personally, and like it basically got everyone to where they need to be. Like the crew is together and they're heading for the Grand Line. That's where they needed to be by the end of the season. But I think one more episode, like kind of in between, like maybe 6 and 7, might have helped somewhat.
Or even in between 7 and 8, it felt rushed, and that's typical for shows that have a lot of story that they need to tell before you find that natural break.
Yeah.
And I do feel like they found the natural break. They succeeded in finding here's where we can stop this season. When we do chapter 2, we can reasonably move to a different story now.
Yeah. And I mean, when they're like just doing the barrel roll call thing and they're just all declaring their dreams, I love that moment. I think that is just a great, just like they're finally united. They have a common goal. They're on their way.
Yeah. You know what, there, it's tough because there was a lot to commend this. I really felt like they got lazy with Luffy's confrontation with Garp. Yeah, I kicked your ass, but you're a good boy.
I don't know how that was in the anime, so I can't say.
Right.
I kind of liked it because it showed like that Garp Garp could wipe the floor with him. Luffy was no threat to Garp whatsoever.
Right.
But basically, this whole, I mean, it just kind of changes your how you view pretty much Garp throughout the entire season. He was never really kind of there to take down Luffy. He was just there to make sure Luffy knew what it was that he was getting into.
Right. Right. I feel like it resolved a little too neatly. I mean, it will be nice to see because he is one of the most interesting non-pirate characters in this show.
And I like the fact that even Helmeppo had that little switch at the end. That I love the relationship between Helmeppo and
Kobe.
Huh?
Is it Kobe?
Yeah, and Kobe.
Yeah.
How that grows, and how they kind of have their back at the end, and then having like Garp kind of saying, "Okay, I'm going to train you both, and I'll train you both how to take down some pirates." Yeah. It opens up more to do with the Marines in the second season.
Okay. Yeah. And I honestly wouldn't mind seeing some of these other pirates throughout the second season. With more like of that, where they move those episodes a little away from the Monkey Crew and over to some of these other, these other pirates that we've only gotten taste of.
Well, see, that's where I don't know how much they'll do into that, because it is Luffy's story. I mean, he is the main central character.
It's Luffy's story, and every 2 episodes there is the boss battle that he has to fight.
Yeah. And you get the hint of one of the boss battles that there is coming for season 2 with that final shot.
Yeah.
I had to look up because I had no idea who that was. I had to look it up.
She was from the very first episode.
No.
The woman with Buggy the Clown?
Huh?
That was the pirate from the very first episode.
No, I'm not talking about Alvida. I'm talking about the guy with 2 cigars that was just burned Luffy's wanted poster. Yeah, I had to look that up. That is a Marine who he is called, appropriately enough, Smoker.
Okay, well.
Yeah. But he's like a Marine captain.
Not for lack of subtleties we've discussed over the last 4 weeks, so. Yeah. I'm not going to be like counting down the days for season 2, Maybe we'll revisit this when season 2 comes out. I liked it more than I thought I was going to, so take that victory.
Yeah, I will.
Because that is about all you're probably going to get from me on here. Because I've got notes. I've got a lot of notes.
Yeah, when it comes to anime and anime-based projects, I'll take what successes I can get with you where I can.
That's fair.
Yeah, Joe and I, and even Cicerone to a certain extent, we are in one camp. You are in another camp.
I'm completely in my own camp. Yes. Yeah. So
I don't know how Catherine feels about anime.
I don't know. I have a feeling like there's probably like 1 or 2.
Yeah, I get a feeling other Joe might be more. Yeah, might be.
Also, Joe might be kind of, but again, only in certain styles.
Actually, I'd be intrigued in knowing what if they've seen One Piece and what they think of it. I'll just have to send her a text when we're done with this.
Yeah, because I mean, it was fine. And based on just kind of how little I watch Netflix now too, it was It served its purpose.
Yeah, I go for like long stretches where I just completely ignore Netflix, but then they throw out a show that like reels me back in, and then I start opening up the gate and find a whole bunch of other stuff I want to watch.
Yeah. I've been like, usually if I'm in Netflix now, it's mainly for documentaries. Now, I found some fairly decent ones that are somewhat recent. I watched the American Gladiators documentary. I just watched Studio 54, which is about 5 years old, but it was it was really intriguing, based just kind of timelining the whole thing from start to collapse. I've been to Studio 54, but back when it was a theater.
It collapsed into a whole big pile of drugs.
Yeah, well, that and there was a lot of skimming of the funds coming. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, they were completely defrauding that place. But yeah, I mean that's, and I feel like Netflix is really the only one doing, like, they're the only ones who've kind of been given the license to do the live action remakes of these manga.
I know coming out early December, they've got a live action Yu Yu Hakusho coming out.
Yeah.
Which is going to be fully in Japanese, and it's that one, like One Piece I've watched a little bit of. I really don't know too much. Yu Yu Hakusho, I watched a lot of that one. That one was a big one for me. And I know it's a big one for Joe and his sister as well. So I'm intrigued on how they're going to do this one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to force you to watch this one. Don't worry.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and I heard that Lupin was just absolute dog shit.
Oh yeah, Lupin was one I've never gotten into, live action or anime.
Yeah, I think it was Lupin.
Although I do kind of want to check out Castle of Cagliostro, mainly because that was like one of the first directing jobs by Miyazaki.
Okay. Oh well. Yeah. But anyway, that was One Piece. I did it. I got through it with the minimum of fuss.
I gave him the option to get out of it after the first episode. So
yeah, you know what? But I said I was going to stick through it. You're just going to have to hear me bitch and moan about it, and I did, and bitch and moan I did. So good show, sir. Good show. So anyway, we in our calculations, we determined that we have an extra week of November.
Yeah.
Between now, which is Tuesday if you're watching this live, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and before December 1st. So we've got one more episode. So we figured that we are going to do something that works both as a belated Halloween movie as well as a belated Thanksgiving movie. What movie is that, you may ask? Well, it's not The Nightmare.
Put me in your mouth.
It's not The Nightmare Before Christmas, because we did that one years ago.
Yes.
So we will be talking all about Addams Family Values next week, a movie that I'm surprised we haven't reviewed yet.
Yeah.
But I always welcome the opportunity to watch that again.
Yeah, one of the very few comedy sequels that many people consider to be better than the first.
I absolutely agree with that.
That does not happen very often at all either.
Yeah.
A comedy sequel better than the original, that's a rarity.
Especially with, like, 90s kids, too, because this is, like, it's one of those things I feel like a lot of, like, kids would auto gravitate towards the original. But this one is just, it's a completely, I don't want to say it's a completely different animal, but we will talk about that next week. Yeah. But it is a lot of fun. I can't wait for that. So, folks, that was One Piece. So let us know, what were your thoughts on the entire series? Please leave a polite comment below. Give this video a big thumbs up. It helps us in the algorithm. Also hit subscribe, because we do this every week. You can check out our playlist for all back episodes. And Mike and I host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can check that out wherever you get your podcast. Spotify, iTunes, for the time being, Google Podcasts, until it moves over to YouTube Podcasts or music or whatever the hell. Oh. I'm going to be so mad if we get moved over there and they still are like, oh, you got to pay, you got to pay for it. So I get ads that I don't get paid back for. Is that what's going on here? I will
Well,
move
so
back
we
to
can
Spotify
use my
if
account
that's
because
the
I do
case.
pay for it.
No, I know you pay for it, but you pay for YouTube TV.
No, I play for YouTube Premium.
Oh, does that include the music?
Yes, I believe so.
Son of a bitch. All right, well, hey, there's that. I might just move back to Spotify if that's the case. But anyway,
I can't take commercials.
yeah, I understand. I'm the master of just skipping over them and just wondering. I've seen so many Limu Emu State Farm not State Farm, Liberty Mutual ads that.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So you can get us wherever you get your podcasts, as well as but you can also get your audio here on our YouTube channel as well. You also follow us on the socials. We were at Facebook at Geek Solid Podcast. And on Twitter, I'm still calling it Twitter. I'm going to dead name it the way he dead names his daughter. Blue Sky and Threads at Geek Salad Radio. So you can check us out there. So, woo, that was some happy sailing. And anyway, until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth, be nerdful. And hey, folks, have a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining
happy
us.
Thanksgiving.